We are back. That's right. The boys are back in town and just in the nick of time for the Breeders' Cup, which begins in just actually, it probably has the Breeders' Cup already begun. It's 1 o'clock.
Not till tomorrow. You're a day early.
Oh, it's right. It's
Friday.
Thursday. I'm like you, John. My whole schedule is just, I'm sure Mark's the same way. I mean, my schedule is, I thought it was 9 o'clock in the morning too. Anyway, it is Thursday. We're recording the show and we are going to handicap 4 races on today's show. But what we're going to do is we are going to post the 2 races, the 9th and the 10th for Saturday's card. And that is the sprint and the mile turf. That is going to be our first show that we'll post on Friday. And then we're going to, on Thursday. And then we're going to post Friday's show, the 11th and 12th from the Breeders' Cup, the turf race, and the classic. So we're going to have 2 shows, one posted on Thursday, one posted on Friday, 4 races we're handicapping for you this week. And I guess we owe it to the fans because we've been missing for about a month. How's everything going, John?
All good. How's about you?
Doing good. You're in Vegas?
I'm in Vegas.
And Mark, you're still in South Florida.
I'm still in South Florida. I'm sure it took John a while to get his luggage off the rack, unloading all his suitcases full of money that he's going to be playing on these races.
I come with empty suitcases and leave with full suitcases.
That's the plan. I got it. Okay.
All right. So let's see what we got here. I don't know if, we'll hold off the, with that, that big scratch is going to be in tomorrow's show, which is actually going to be in race 11. So we're going to hold that off, even though I'm sure everybody will know by then. But let's talk about the first 2 races, which we're going to begin with the race, the sprint race, which is race number 8, which is going to go off about 5:40 on Saturday. And this is a 6 furlong race. And we're going to start with Following C. And Following C, this is Velazquez and Pletcher coming off a 4. Now, the big question is going to be, John, is the bounce factor, because the 4 came before a 12 or after a 12. That's a big jump. And we're only talking about less than a month. So that's not what we want to see. The last time Following C ran a 4, he bounced to a 17. But I don't know how much time did he have in between those 2 races?
About more time than he has today.
Yeah.
But he hadn't.
And he still did, and he still bounced to a 17. So that's the problem.
Well, it's not such a problem because you could certainly make it an excuse for the 17. At that point, it was a lifetime top the 4, but the 17 was the first time that this horse was asked to go 2 turns. It was also his first time without Lasix. So both of those factors could have contributed to the bad effort.
Okay.
The fact that he came back to the 4, to me, is a positive sign. And the fact the 1 is a positive sign.
Yes.
So for that reason, I'm not in such a rush to throw him out. You see, you're looking at it as a 4 off of a 12. But the correct way to read it is that it's a 4 off of the 4. Because his previous lifetime top was a 4. So he only got back to it. It's not that he ran a new top last time out. He got back to his original top. So,
are we concerned then? See, the thing that I'm not so, I agree with you on the 6-1. That's the deciding factor. If you're talking about a favorite, a 2-1 shot, a 3-1 shot, I'm not going to risk it. But, and look, I like the horse in my exactas and maybe even a daily double shot as well because of the 6-1.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm keeping him open because he ran a fast number and he's 6-1. How many horses in this race have run faster than a 4? You're not going to see too many.
Okay, now the 2 horse is the favorite, and Jackie's Warrior is a heavy 6-5 favorite, and that there's no surprise why. If you take a look at this horse, I mean, the sheet line is just immaculate. 14, 10-8, 6-5-2. You just don't get much better than that. And 3 wins in a row, 8 wins out of 11. But you do not have Jackie's Warrior as one of your plays. You're going to decide to knock off the favorite Why are you going to do that, John?
Well, you were looking to knock the one out because he ran a 4 and you thought he was going to bounce.
Well, I like the 6-1 though. That's a difference, yeah.
Exactly. So this horse is 6-5 and he's off of a 2. Where is he going off of the 2? He's not making a forward move. You know he's going to regress off of that race. So the fact that he's the favorite, and I know that he's going backwards, why would I want to play him? You know, if I was keying a price horse, fine, I would include him. But I would never bet this horse, and he's going to be 3-5 in this spot. You know, I think he's vulnerable. Listen, the horse is 8 for 11 lifetime. He's a terrific horse. The problem is he ran too big of a race last time out. You know, he's got about enough time, but it's still a top. You know, can he win? Of course he can win, but there's no value in playing this horse at a short price.
Yeah, the only thing I'm going to do with the 2 is, in case he wins, is I'm going to do him in a double with a couple of decently priced horses in the 9th. But that's why I agree with you. I can't really wager on this horse because of the number. But Mark, it's not going to be your top play, but this is a horse that you'll put in your exactas.
Yeah, I think he has to be in the exactas somewhere. I agree with John. You can't put him on top at 5. And where is he going to go from the 2? Even if he regresses back to a 5, it's probably good enough to win this race. But moving forward, as he's been doing here in this pattern coming into the race, there is no move forward I see for this horse. So if you're going to be playing a horse that you don't anticipate moving forward, why are you playing the horse? That's the question here.
At a short price, Mark. At a short
Exactly right. At 3-5.
Right. There's no edge. I mean, he can win. Could certainly win, but you have no edge in playing this horse at 3-5.
Obviously, the horse to beat, no question. He's done nothing but run in graded stakes since he broke his maiden, and looks to be the horse to beat. But no value in the Breeders' Cup handicapping races. To me, is all about value, and I don't see it here.
Yeah, the worst race of this horse's career was in the Breeders' Cup last year when he finished 4th. Has never raced at DelMar.
Yeah, but that's 2 turns, Greg. There's a difference. His sprint races have always been terrific. The only bad races he runs are route races. So that 10 that he ran at Keeneland last year in the Breeders' Cup, that was around 2 turns. The 14 he has this year at Oaklawn was around 2 turns. So.
All right, let's go with the 3, CZ Rocket. And CZ Rocket, second in last year's race, by the way, is a 12-1 shot here, running 4 consecutive 8s coming in. Before that, had back-to-back 4s, and last year, 3, 4, 5, 6, and things were looking good, and started off well with the 2 4s this year, John. But the last 4 races have been 8s, second, third. So he's not winning, and his numbers have gone up.
Well, there's a reason. First of all, he's a 7-year-old, so the 4s that he ran earlier this year could have finished him. Not only that, the last 3 races that were all 8s were all run without Lasix. So obviously, this is an older horse that needs to be on Lasix. So for that reason, he's 12-1, but I don't like him at all.
And this Materis guy doesn't belong, correct?
Correct.
All right. So the 5 is Aloha West. Now, Aloha West is coming off 3 of his best races. 3 6s in a row, 2 wins, and a runner-up by a neck to Special Reserve, who's in this race, by the way. Plus, you're getting 8-1 with Ortiz. He's also got 2 wins out of 4 at this distance, and that's why Aloha West is going to be in your exactas, John.
Well, here's the knock on the horse. He never ran as a 2 or 3-year-old, so obviously he had physical problems. But however, this year he made it to the races and he never misses a beat. He's got time between races and he continues to improve. 8 1/4, 6 minus last time out. He's a steady, hard-hitting horse. If you think the 1 may bounce and you think the 2 is bouncing, well, this is going to be a solid horse that could run a 5 or 6, and that could be good enough to get you in the exacta. And he's 8-1. So for all those reasons, I'm using him.
Do you like Aloha West at all, Mark?
I think he has to be used. I agree with John. My concern is he only run in 1 graded stakes race. That was at Keeneland when he ran second his last race out. So the horse is coming along. Wayne Catalano, he's a pretty well-known Chicago trainer, but he's also been in other main circuits along the way. He brings Jose Ortiz along for the ride in the race. For the price, 8-1, I think he has to be looked at for sure.
Okay, the 6 is Marc's favorite biter, Firenze Fire. And Firenze Fire was third in last year's race, going off at 10-1. And he's been a solid horse this year, running between 6 and 8 in all 6 of his races. He's coming off back-to-back runner-up finishes, including to following C, the one horse, when Firenze Fire went off as the favorite last month. What about Firenze Fire, John?
He's okay. I mean, he's a 6-year-old, so he's certainly not going to get better at this age. He does have an excuse for his last race. He broke through the gate. That's what that G stands for prior to the race. And very rarely will you see a horse that breaks through the gate before the race and runs off, that they come back and run well. So he does have an excuse for the last race, even though he finished second, but maybe he would have run better if he didn't break through prior to the race.
Okay, so where is that? I'm gonna everyone that can see now can see the sheets. Where are you talking about that what is it, that dash?
It's last race, 7-, and then you see the G.
The G, correct.
Yes, G allowance Belmont race on the date that the race was October 9th. So the G means that he broke through the gate prior to the race. When they were lined up ready to go, he tried to get a head start, and he ran off a bit. So that takes something out of a horse, because he bangs the gate open with his face, and who knows, it's got to have some effect on them. And you never see horses win, or very rarely, when they'll break through the gate prior to the race.
Right. Hey, John, is this horse a gelding by any means?
No, Firenze Fire is a horse.
He should be, okay?
That's right.
He's a horse.
For all of his, that's a handful.
For you to say, however, he's made over $2 million, and
there's some breeding to be had.
Yeah, he's going to have some breeding value.
Yep. Real steady horse. Doesn't win races, but he's always there. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
He's won grade stake races, so it certainly has some value.
Do you have? Is there a symbol on the sheets for biting the other horse?
Savaging? No. Usually there's a trouble mark. It should be 2 starts back or 3, whenever it was that he savaged that horse. This was the savage.
So he's had two eventful races in a row.
Yes, the last 2 races were both eventful.
Okay,
correct.
the Lexitonian, that's a one-hit wonder. We don't care about Lexitonian, do we?
I don't particularly like him, but every now and then he pops a number and always seems to beat me when he does, but I don't see it coming.
Okay, now comes 2 horses that you guys like a lot here, the 8 and the 9. Marc, this is going to be your top choice, Special Reserve. Soon as Special Reserve was claimed, he changed into a really good contender. And you could, and that's exactly what happened to start the season. He has 5 wins out of 7 with 2 runner-ups. As far as the sheets, the last 4 races, he's got 2 5s and 2 7s, with the 2 5s coming in his last 2 races, 6-1. I can understand why you like Special Reserve, Marc, as your top choice.
I think when you get days like this, guys, where you have jockeys like Irad Ortiz up on a horse and he's anything more than 5-1, you have to pay a little bit more attention to that horse. And that's sort of what stopped me here to look longer at this horse. He's only been up on him once, okay? But in that race, he did win a grade 3 sprint race 4 races back. This horse has won 4 of its last 6 races with 2 seconds placed all in between there. And as you say, the numbers look nice. 5, 5, 7, 7, and if he improves off that 5, he could be in the winner's circle, and I hope he will.
John, you like this horse as well. It's not your top choice. What about Special Reserve?
Well, I just thought he was steady and consistent, and you pointed out that since Maker claimed this horse, he's done nothing but run well for him. I mean, he has 2 7s and 2 5s, and he's 6-1. So here's the problem. He's a 5-year-old, so one thing. He's not going to get better. Hopefully he maintains the course.
All right, now comes your top choice, John, and that's Dr. Shivel. And Dr. Shivel who only has 7 races over his career. But let's talk about those last 3 because just same thing. Trainer changed to Marc Glatt, runs a 7.86. The 6 in his last race was the best race in that Grade 2 race at Santa Anita. This horse has won 5 consecutive races, 3 for 3 at DelMar, as far as winning all 3, and 4 for 4 winning all 4 at this distance.
Right, and he had a 7 as a 2-year-old and came back and broke right through it. He had a 7 1/4, came out, ran a 7, then he ran a 6 1/4 last time out. He's ready to run a new top. He's been drawn inside last time. He gets an outside box today. He has Pratt up. He's 4-1, and he'll be every bit of that price. And I think this horse is going to be very tough here. I think he's running a 4 tomorrow, and a 4 is going to get it done. This is who I like best in the race.
And Mark, you also like the 9?
I like the 9 here as well. He checks a lot of boxes here, as you mentioned, at the distance, at the track. Also, he's coming off, he's 4 for 4 obviously, with Platt on top of the horse as well, riding the horse. But he's coming off a nice big bullet workout out of 41 horses that worked that morning here. He had the best bullet on that particular day. If this horse advances any at all off these 3 6s, like John says, this horse could well be in the winner's circle.
Okay, so John, your top play is Dr. Schivel, the 9 horse. You also like the 1, the 5, and the 8. Following C.
Underneath has exotic hookups, exact partners. But yes, I like the 9 clearly.
Okay, and then Mark, you're going to again go with the 8 as your top choice, special reserve. Also hooking in with Jackie's Warrior and Dr. Schivel. And since you guys went 8 and 9, I am also going to put in a horse there right around the same number at 6-1. That number 1 horse following C. I'll go there. And I tell you the truth, I think between the 1, the 8, and the 9, I definitely have those 3 horses trying to connect doubles into the 9th race, which is what we're going to talk about right now. And that is the mile. Now, do they call this the mile or the mile turf?
The mile turf.
So this is the mile turf. This is going to go off about 6:20 Eastern time. And let's, this is again race 9. Let's start with Master of the Seas. Nothing to like here.
Can I just say something about this race?
Yes.
This is a very, very difficult race. You have a lot of European shippers shipping in, so no one really knows how good they are. Generally speaking, they're usually better than the American horses, to be honest with you. So I would assume this race is probably going to be won by a Euro shipper. So let's do it. Go ahead.
Always on Breeders' Day, they seem to be better, John, for sure.
Yes.
But nothing to like at a Master of the Seas, though, correct?
Well, it depends what you think you need to win the race. If you think a 10 is going to do it, well, then he has a chance like a lot of other horses. I don't think a 10 is good enough. I don't like this horse in this spot.
Mark, actually, yeah, that's Master of the Seas. So you don't like the horse at all then? Not even, you like them into your exotics?
Well, he has a shot. Again, if you think a 10 is good enough, and it may be good enough, he could get a piece. But not more. I don't think the trainer is terrific. Charles Appleby does a terrific job shipping in these Euros. He has a chance. Somewhere on the bottom, I don't think he's good enough to win.
Okay, now the 2 is going to be one of my top horses, Smooth Like Straight. And Smooth Like Straight, 15 out of 18 in the money, including 9 straight in the money with 3 wins, 5 for 5 at DelMar with 2 wins, 8 out of 9 at a mile with 4 wins, and pretty consistent between 7 and 11, has a couple of 7s. Yeah, I mean, this is just a very consistent horse. It checks all the boxes in this particular type of race, including the fact I love he's 10-1, John.
Yeah, he's fine. Listen, if you excuse the last race, what was the reason for the 11? He had a 7 before that. He had enough time. He should have run better than the 11. That's the only knock I have on him. But I'm nitpicking. The horse is 5 for 5 in the money at DelMar on the grass, 2 wins in 3 seconds. So you always have to take that into consideration. Now,
the 3 is going to be one of Mark's top 3 horses. Mark, you like Space Blues at 3-1. Coming in here, the 5 races that we see here on the sheets, for the 2021 season have ranged between 7 and 11. This is an Irish horse, so this is one of those foreign invaders. The only thing about Space Blues, no races at 1 mile and no races at DelMar. But again, the foreign horses are the good ones. Charles Appleby, the trainer, again, one of the horses you like, Mark.
He is. His numbers are real favorable. He comes in 7, 8, 11 moving forward that way. Appleby, Charles Appleby, as John mentions, is the trainer of the horse, and this horse has also found the money in 14 of its 18 races at 8 to 1. That's a real square price. I got to put him in the mix.
Isn't he 3 to 1?
He's 3 to 1.
Oh, 3 to 1. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Yeah, I mistyped that.
Okay, but this is your top horse, John. You're going to go with Space Blues at 3 to 1 as your top choice in the race.
I like his line. I mean, he has 2 8s last year. This year, an 8 first out. Then he ran a 7 last time out. The only concern I have with this horse is all his races are run on soft and good turf courses. That's not going to be the case in California. You know, it never rains there. So the turf course is not usually conducive to European horses, but the turf course by DelMar, since they're on the beach, it does get damp there in the morning, so it's not quite as hard as it would be at Santa Anita. So for that reason, I'm using the horse. I like the line. I like the trainer. The horse is 10 for 18 lifetime. You know, he's certainly bred to handle the mile, and he doesn't seem to do anything wrong off the numbers on the sheets.
Okay. I guess the only thing is 3 to 1. That's it.
Well, but it's a full field. There's 14 horses or 14 betting interests in the race. So there's not going to be a big favorite. You know what I mean? The favorite may be 7 to 2 or 3 to 1 in this race.
And the other good thing is the last 3 races, 11, 8, 7. So Space Blues is headed in the right direction.
To the race. So.
Okay, let's now talk about the 4 Raging Bull and the 5 Vin de Garde. 15 and 20 to 1 shots. Nothing I like here. The only thing about Raging Bull, forget the 5, but we'll talk about Raging Bull first, because Raging Bull ran a 4 last year. After that, 6, 9, 7, 8. He ran a 4 this year. After that, 6, 9, 10. 10th, by the way, in the last year's race. So that's the problem we have with Raging Bull, isn't it, John?
The problem is exactly what you said. He ran a 4 first out this year, and every race since then has been progressively worse than the previous one.
And Vin de Garde, the Japanese import, ran a 9, and the only number we have here. So 20 to 1 shot. Nothing to like for here, though, right?
No, none of the Japanese horses are going to win any Breeders' Cup races tomorrow. That I can tell.
All right, let's go to the 6. Now, this is a horse that both of you guys like, and why not? Mo Forza. Mark, this is your top choice at 5 to 1. Peter Miller horse, who's won 4 straight and 8 and 9. 5 out of 6 at DelMar with 3 wins. 7 out of 8 at a mile with 6 wins. Has an 8 and a 6 in the 2 sheet lines so far this year. Has run 3 4s in his last 6 races.
I've got the horse right on top in this race here, guys. Like you say, he's won 8 of his last 10 races, 4 in a row coming into this race. Really likes the track at DelMar, 5 out of 6 in the money with 3 wins. Great at the distance, 8 out of 8 for the distance here. And his numbers are nice numbers here. You're looking at 6, 8, 7, 4, 4. My goodness, if he gets anywhere near that 4, he'll be in the winner's circle in this race. And I think we got a pretty square price on top of it.
Yeah, this is a good horse here, John.
Not so much, boys. He's not the same horse he was last year. Sorry.
You have him in your picks.
Yeah, I understand, but he's not the same horse he was last year. Last year he ran 4.
That's
last
true.
year he ran 2 4. This year he ran a 6 and an 8.
He's saving his best for last.
So but that's 2 points slower and 4 points slower than he was last year. So. And he's going to probably be the favorite or close to it because everybody loves Peter Miller, loves Flavian Pratt, and they love this horse. Can he win? Of course he can win, but I don't think he's running better than the 6. But the 6 may be good enough to get you in the number. I don't think you're seeing a 4. Why haven't we seen a 4?
Well, like I said, he's saving his best for last. That's what he's done the last 2 years. He's run a 4 in his last race.
Okay, but the 6 and
I
8
know. I'm just
are
saying.
both without LASIK. The 6 and 8 are both without LASIK. Keep that in
Okay.
mind.
And next up is going to be another horse that you have in your exotics, and a horse that I also circled in love, the number 7 at 8-1, a Brazilian import. You like the sheets. The sheet line is nice. 14, 12, 12, 10, 7, 7. So headed in the right direction. The horse has won 3 straight, including a grade 1 race at Keeneland the last time out last month, John.
Yeah, this horse is fine. He's on the improve. He's getting good at the ripe old age of 5, but he didn't start running in this country till last year, and he really hasn't done anything wrong. And he's 8-1, and why not?
Next up is Hit the Road, a 15-1 shot. Who, like a few other horses in this race, has bounced around from 7 to 11, 7th in the Breeders' Cup Turf Juvie race last year at 15-1, John.
Yeah, I actually read this sheet wrong originally when I was handicapping, to tell you the truth, because if you look at his sheet, it's got a 9 minus, a 9, an 8 minus, time off is 7. Then last time out, he bounced and he had trouble in that race. So really, you could read the sheet as 9, 8, 7, continuing to move forward at 15-1. I may have been a little strict, and maybe I should include this horse in my numbers because I think he has a chance to get in.
Okay. Yeah, let me, all right, I'll tell you what, I'll pop that up. So say that again. So we're going to take a look at just this year's races.
Yeah, 9, 8, 7.
But this is Hit the Road,
11
right? Yes.
Yeah, yes. You're looking at 15-1, first of all. You're looking at a 9, 8, and 7, which was all great. And the 11 last time out, it says T. You see the T? He had trouble in that race, and he bounced off the 7. So he certainly can make a forward move. And at 15-1, he belongs in the numbers somewhere, and I'm going to include him underneath my 3 Space Blues.
Okay. Now let's bring up Mother Earth, 9-horse Irish import at 8-1. That does not belong in this field, correct? I mean, 8-1. What's this horse doing at 8-1?
This is total respect for the trainer, Aidan O'Brien. This is all, he brings horses here, and usually they run well. This horse doesn't look like there's anything special about her, especially at 8-1. I think you want a longer price.
Okay, now the 10 is an interesting horse. I like this horse. Marc likes this horse. Blowout. Chad Brown Rosario combo at 8-1. 13 of 14 in the money with 5 wins. The sheet lines 7-9-9 this year with a 7 last time out. 9-7-9 last year. So it's between 7 and 9, which isn't totally bad. Marc, this is one of your top horses.
Yeah, not going to put him on top, but Chad Brown and Rosario, I like the combination here real well. The horse comes in here on a nice 3-race win streak. Moving forward off his last race, off of 3 9s in a row. You have to love the fact that he's been in the money all 9 races at this distance. I think it's a square play here, especially for a price with a horse. I'm like a horse like this with Chad Brown and Rosario. I got to put him underneath on my ticket.
What about Blowout? You decided not to go with Blowout, John.
Well, I just think he's going to react off of the 7. She's now 5 years old. Last year, off of the 7, with plenty of time off, she bounced to the 9, which was also a DelMar, by the way. And now she's coming back without as much time off. And I'm just going to play her to react off of that. I don't believe that she'll be 8-1. Not with those connections. I mean, look, the horse never has gone off more than 5-1 on any race that she shows. And they're including graded stake races. So why do you think she's going to go off at that price?
It's the same
tomorrow?
odds as Mother Earth.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Not happening.
Well, that's part of the worm, John. That big fat worm at 8-1 is what sort of gets me looking at this horse.
Yeah, well,
now, if she doesn't go off at 8-1, that's another case.
Yeah, but why would she be 8-1? Look at her PPs. The last time out, she went off at 5-1. That's the longest she's been the entire year. So I don't see her going off at that price. So.
All right, the 11 has Got Stormy, a 10-1 shot. Got Stormy ran a 7 a couple of races back. Pretty consistent horse, ranging between 11 and 8 over the last couple of years, but nothing special, John.
No, you get into outside posts now also, so they're going to lose ground. They're going to have to run at least 2 or 3 points faster to beat the inside horses. So for that reason, all these horses drawn outside, for me, get minus. They get downgraded for the post position.
Now, Pearls Galore might be interesting because the sheet line is headed in the right direction. 15, 13, 11, and 9 at 12 to 1.
Let's assume she runs a 9 or even better. She's going to have to run that much better to beat horses that are drawn inside of her. So,
yeah. With that sheet line, we want her to run a 7.
Well, she's going to have to run at least a 7 to possibly get a piece. So that's the problem.
Casa Creed, 13, is a 15 to 1 shot. Again, another horse that's ranged between 7 and 12. 12th in last year's race, but Casa Creed hasn't really shown much, and especially the last couple of races.
No, and she's 5 years old now. She's not going to run better than 9 or 10, possibly an 8. But again, she's outposted. And the same thing goes for Ivar, the bottom horse, the 14. This horse at least has the 6, 2 starts back. But listen, she's not terrible at 12 to 1, but you probably want a longer price. She has that 1-6 last year. He has that 1-6 last year. Unlikely to run it tomorrow.
Yeah, I was just concerned with the results over the last 3 races. Not good, but like you said, 2 6s and 2 8s over the last 4. Ivar is not the worst idea in the world at 12 to 1. All right, so John, go ahead. What's your picks?
I like the 3. I like Space Blues. Morning line favorite, and I'm usually not a guy in a rush to bet favorites, but I think this horse is just better than these. I would use the 1 underneath, Master of Seas, the 6 Mo 4s, and I'm going to switch to the 8, Hit the Road, because he's 15 to 1.
Okay, and are you knocking off a horse that you previously had on there?
7. I had the 7 in there.
All right, and Marc's horses. Marc, you're going with the 6 Mo Forza. You also like Space Blues and Blowout. And I'm going to throw some money on Blowout and Smooth Like Straight, the number 2 horse in the field. All right, so that's going to wrap up our first show, our first report, race 9 and 10 on Saturday's card. Again, that's the mile turf race and the sprint. And that is that. John, you're in Vegas. What are you doing there again?
I have a seminar at the South Point Casino and Hotel tomorrow night. People could actually watch it on, if they go to their website, it's 6 p.m. Pacific Coast time. I'll be doing it with Ralph Scirocco, who is the MC.
This is going to be on the website. Which website?
South Point Casino and Hotel.
South Point Casino Hotel. And that's at 9 Eastern on tonight or tomorrow?
Tomorrow, Friday night.
Friday night. All right. We will definitely tune in for that. Marc, I'll talk to you tomorrow when we handicap football over the weekend, college and pros. And John, we'll do this again next week.
Okay, great. Talk to you soon. Good luck, everybody. Have fun. Make some money.
Hey, guys, like I like to always say, may the horse be with you this weekend, okay? Good weekend for have the horse with us. Have a good time in Vegas, John.
Thanks, guys. Stay safe and be well.
Be good.